Thank you very much. And thank you, Admiral, and Mr. Jones, thank you so much for being here, Master Chief. From protecting our ports and waterways to assisting our communities during hurricanes, the Coast Guard is a well-known, vital component of my district in southeast Texas and the Gulf Coast. I proudly represent both Coast Guard Sector Houston Galveston and Air Station Houston, each housed at Ellington Field in southeast Houston. Admiral Fagan, my first few questions are for you. If we can't get through everything, I hope you don't mind, and that I'll have them submitted. As the Coast Guard looks to transition to an MH-60 rotary wing fleet, I understand that the Coast Guard is slowly phasing out many of its aging MH-65s with the intention of reducing its overall rotary wing fleet from 146 to 126 aircraft. Air Station Houston currently hosts 3 MH-65 Dolphin helicopters. I understand the current plan is to phase these 3 helicopters out and replace them with just 2 MH-60s. And while I recognize that the MH-60 is a very capable platform compared with the MH-65, I have concerns that reducing the number of airframes in service may impact the Coast Guard's operational capabilities. Presumably, with fewer aircraft at an air station, it would be more challenging to respond to multiple search and rescue missions, drug interdictions, or patrols, given that a single helicopter can only be in one place at one time. And I don't anticipate drug runners will be idling their boats while they wait for the helicopters to arrive. We can't ask folks to just tread water while they await assistance. How does the Coast Guard plan to maintain its operational capabilities with less operational assets?
We are in the process of transitioning away from the H-65 fleet of vessels, fleet of aircraft. They've definitely reached their age limits, and so there's an imperative around moving to a single fleet of H-60 helicopters. These aircraft have far more range and speed than the helicopters that they are replacing. And so continuing to the funding support necessary to field 60s becomes critical, and we appreciate where we are with it. We've got a request in the UPL for $113 million to field additional 60s. Right now, we've indicated a transition to at least 127, but we continue to look at the helicopter fleet we have in place now, what the capabilities are that the new 60s bring into the mix, and then understand that we do have an obligation to continue to meet response times, search and rescue requirements to the American public. This is life-saving work, and we're committed to meeting those requirements. We continue to work towards identifying what that right number and mix looks like.
Okay, in a report shared with the committee last May regarding the Coast Guard's interdiction of illicit drugs in transit zones, the report shares that the Coast Guard was able to intercept about 10% of the cocaine flow coming into the United States. In the report, the Coast Guard notes that the level of effort toward this mission is assessed as adequate, given the boundary conditions of balancing the execution of other statutory missions and workforce material readiness. And I assume the Coast Guard is not satisfied with 10% interdiction rate. My takeaway from that is that you have too few resources to adequately carry out your growing mission set. What are some of the factors that would improve the Coast Guard's ability to carry out its drug interdiction mission? And would you acknowledge that additional surface assets could help the Coast Guard improve its mission effectiveness? And if so, why does the President's budget not include resources for additional FRCs?
The counter-narcotics mission that the Coast Guard conducts on behalf of the nation requires a force package of mission asset types: ship, over-the-horizon pursuit boat, helicopter with airborne use of force capacity. Fielding new assets that are more reliable and don't experience the unplanned maintenance periods that the current aging fleet of helicopters and ships are experiencing is a priority for the service. So the ships and equipment we have out on vector are more reliable. We continue to partner with other international partners and engagement to ensure that we're meeting that mission demand. The FRCs have been an incredibly helpful platform as we meet our counter-narcotics mission.
Okay, thank you. We're going to have 2 rounds today, is that right? 2 rounds of questions? Okay. No. So I've got some for the Master Chief, too. Thank you, and I yield back.